Good morning. Appreciate y'all for tuning in and rocking with us for another edition of the Morning Breeze, man. Always rocking with you guys, as always, man. Outside of me, I got my guy, Mr. Media himself, Jordan Jenkins, in the building. Oh boy, we've got sunglasses on at 6:30 in the morning.
You doggone right.
That must mean it's a Bears Victory Monday, ladies and gentlemen. And dare I say, this is a bit of a meaty morning. Is that what we're going with Jordan JC?
Tell him, Pat. You already know. You already know.
Hey, we got a Bears win, a Bears dub, ladies and gentlemen. The Chicago Bears finally find their offense. A run game has been found. DeAndre Swift is alive. We got to break down the Chicago Bears win over the Rams and really some of the key points that led to that victory, looking in at that run game. Also, got to take a look at how Flus has this defense playing right now. Can he get that out of the entire team, though? I love DC Flus, and I'm feeling a little bit better about head coach Flus.
All right.
We also got to talk about the fact that Caleb Williams is still hitting the ground way too much. We'll talk about all that and more in today's episode. It's 9/30/2024. It's a meaty morning.
Oh, baby.
And the Bears won. Let's go! Hey. I hit you with a No, I'm just playing. Let me stop playing. We're not gonna
rap one of these mornings.
We start getting the freestyles in the morning, dog. Maybe that'll be the thing. After a Bears dub, I gotta come in with a freestyle off of it.
Oh, God.
After a Bears dub, I gotta come in with a freestyle off of it,
Yes,
dog.
sir, man. Come on with it, man.
Hey, if they win again, I'll do it. If they win again. Hey, man, appreciate y'all for tuning in, showing love to another edition of the Morning Breeze, brought to you by the Windy City Breeze Sports Talk Daily. Hit that like button if you have not done so. Subscribe to the page. Leave that 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. I need y'all to do me a favor. Stop playing with your boys, man. Go ahead and
come on. Push the button. Come on. Push the button. Come on, push the button.
Yeah, come on, push your button.
You heard what she said.
You heard what Sue Young said. Push the goddamn button, man. Let's get into it, my guy, because the Chicago Bears with a 24-18 victory over the Los Angeles Rams. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that everything about this game was pretty, but I do think that there were some things that definitely stood out, especially in that second half. Chicago Bears finally able to get that offense going. That run game got a little bit more consistent off of the end of that second half. A final drive in that second half that made you feel a little bit better, or I'm sorry, in that first half, that made you feel a little bit better about how Caleb Williams was adjusting to what was happening around him. Let's start it off here, Jordan. What did you see in that game that really stood out to you to get things going?
Well, hey, first of all, we're not going to start off with any bad news. Obviously, this is a meaty morning. You know, there is no bad news. We're not going to talk about the amount of times Caleb was on his backside. We're not going to talk about how trash this offensive line still looks. No. Let's get a little bit of more positivity, guys.
Okay.
The Bears have finally found an identity. We got a run game that was going. We saw it in full display with DeAndre Swift. We saw it in full display with Roschon. I like that tandem, the balance that they used, and that it actually worked. You saw Caleb Williams continue to take steps forward, maturing as a quarterback in the NFL, not necessarily making a whole lot of explosive plays, but making plays that actually led his team down the field, getting first downs, getting check downs, getting that ball out faster, processing the field. Boy, does it feel good to have Keenan Allen back, because he's somebody who impacted the game with those passes when they were needed. Even in blocking, as a blocker,
Yeah,
Keenan
yeah,
Allen was
yeah.
pivotal. You love to see him back on the field. There were just a lot of things that were really amazing about this game. And might I add, the fourth round pick,
Oh boy,
Tory
here we go.
Goddamn Taylor. You put
Here
some
we go.
respect on his name, Pat.
Here
You
we
put
go.
some respect on his name.
I will put some respect on his name. All I ask is that if we drafted you, you do this every single week. I don't like
Oh,
this
he's
whole
getting revved
notion of
up.
like, well, he doesn't got to do it next week again. No, yes, he does. He's got to
He's
do it
getting
every
warmed up,
week. He's a
baby.
drafted punter.
He's getting warmed up. I'm telling you, he's getting warmed up. But no, overall, honestly, the game was it was a very good game. There are still obviously things that we need to work on, but again, you see incremental progress week to week. You see the things that need to be changed. You see that Shane Waldron took a step forward in understanding what this team needs as far as situational, play calling, using the right personnel. I'll get into that. There were certain plays I feel like, man, if it wasn't the right personnel on the field, this game could have turned backwards or turned in a different direction. But you saw smart decisions. You saw smart football from the Chicago Bears.
Yeah, I think you did. I think the second half more so than the first. I would say this is a game of two halves. We were not pleased by what we were watching in the first half of that game. You should go back and look at me and Joel's face as we literally were sitting there just in disbelief that this Bears team was yet again running an offense that just felt inept, that just felt underwhelming. It felt like they couldn't get anything going. They couldn't get the run game going. They couldn't. I mean, Caleb Williams was. I think we were 6 minutes to go in the second half. He still had 26 yards of total offense for passing, right? Like you were in a very bad spot offensively. But in the second half, you started to figure some things out. I think, like you said, I think the personnel was better, but I'll say this, and it is okay to do this, Bears fans. I understand we want the players to be the best thing, and so we defend the players. We immediately go to ripping the coaches apart. But sometimes the play call is right and the players got to execute. Sometimes the play call is wrong and the players still got to execute. Case in point, early on in that game, tight end screen to Cole Kmet, hate the call. Absolutely hate the call. I wish all tight end screens. I'm not anti-screen either. Some Bears fans at this point are anti-screen. I'm not anti-screen. I just hate slow guys running the football on screens. You know what I mean? Like
he doesn't go through contact either. He's not good at going through contact.
I'm not. I don't like any of the slow guys doing this. But in that same sense, though, ball is thrown over there. DeAndre Swift, to his credit, seals his man up on the outside edge. Rome Odunze doesn't even touch his guy. Just kind of looks at him and goes, oh, no, he's tackling Cole. How did he get there? Well, you didn't step in front of him. And I get it. I don't want Rome Odunze being my lead blocker. But when a play is called, I do need my players to execute. I think that's what changed in the second half of this game. You saw the Chicago Bears finally getting some really good player execution out of the second half. I thought that, dare I say, Braxton Jones and Darnell Wright looked a little bit more competent in that second half. And again, I'm not telling you it was an elite dominating second half. We scored 14 points, which is good. It's a step up from us. But what it looked like was a Chicago Bears offense where the players were finally executing, where these young guys were finally being able to go out there and do the job that was asked of them. And if you give Caleb Williams a little bit of time, I go back to that DJ Moore touchdown pass. He's going to be able to stand in the pocket, be poised, deliver the football on time, and get the ball into the hands of his receiver. I know people are still upset about, you got these overthrows. He can't be missing DJ Moore here. He can't be missing this guy. And I do agree. The overthrows are glaring right now, but they're more glaring because it's literally just, hey, kid, if you don't make that throw, we may not get another shot on offense. Rookie quarterbacks are going to overthrow guys. Yeah. The overthrows are the things that I expected to happen this season. What I didn't expect to happen is Braxton Jones to be sliding backwards, going, every single
here
play
we go,
down the
doing
field.
The James Brown.
No, hey, listen, and it's crazy because it's literally, I don't know if you watch Jared Verse at all in this game, but just the Jared Verse is one of the best. What he's been dominant at is getting around guys, using his speed to get around guys. Hasn't really had to go through a ton of guys. His game plan in this game was to go through Braxton Jones' chest all day long. He was
Gary
like,
clearly watched tape on Braxton.
Gary was like, oh, I'm not even trying to get around you. I'm gonna just push you back into your guy. But we're not starting there. We're not starting there. I think the thing is, you saw even Braxton Jones' player execution get better in that second half. That's what leads to this big win. And on top of that, we got to talk about it. The Bears find their run game.
Hey, oh my
Finally
goodness.
find that run game out there with DeAndre Swift. Yes, I'll give credit to the $8 million man. No, I still wouldn't have signed him. You don't have to. I'm not changing my opinion on that.
I know.
But I will give credit to the $8 million man for this. One, when finally being utilized in a way that fits his game, I think that he took more advantage of it. And I do put it again on player execution, because some of those screen passes were thrown in previous games and he dropped them.
Yeah.
In this game, he was able to bring the football in. The blocking in front of him was executed very well in that second half. And guess what? Those same screen passes that we all hated in the first half, I told you they work. Because in the second half, DeAndre Swift is using that short passing game to open things up for his running game. Now, all of a sudden, the outside zone is working for the Bears as well. And dare I say, Jordan JC, not a ton of usage for Roschon Johnson in this game, but timely usage for Roschon Johnson in this game. Of course, on the goal line, he ends up getting that touchdown in there. And of course, in those 4th and 1, 3rd and 1 moments, Roschon Johnson being the name that they called on. I am sorry for all the Khalil Herbert fans out there. I told you he would be the least utilized of these backs. He is, because they want to go with a 1-2 system, a 1-2 punch, which is what you should be going with, a lead back and then a guy to give him a breather in those short yardage situations. That's what works in the NFL.
No, I totally agree with you. Yeah, and they came out saying that they would use, excuse me, Roschon a little bit more this week. He only had 7 carries for 26 yards, but almost a four per carry average. But he got the touchdown.
Can I side note you on that on the coaching staff, on the coaching staff, because I think that the absolute plan was Roschon Johnson is getting 16 carries today. But then DeAndre Swift changed things up and started hitting, and they were like, go with the hot hand. I got to give some credit to the coaching staff on that, finally.
Yeah, you know what? That's a good point. Because honestly, when I first saw the first drive and I saw DeAndre out there, I was like, okay, they're still going with DeAndre. I was
sitting there, I was like, DeAndre Swift,
it's like, we're still doing this show. What is going on? But hey, whenever you got a guy who I think was the first running back since Jeremy Langford, I saw a stat that had over 70 plus yards and 70 plus passing catching yards.
That's
like,
gross,
huh?
That's gross.
Yeah, I know. But hey, it's a good set. How long has it been since Jeremy Langford?
Jeremy Langford's a while ago, bro. That's why I
remember
said
the number.
Jeremy Langford is.
I remember that. That was a while ago. Oof. So I mean, if you got a guy that's cooking like that from the passing, from the backfield, we're going to continue to feed you the ball. And I feel like there's nothing that much different that they've done as far as implementing DeAndre Swift in the game. It's just that you saw certain holes open up. You saw him be more decisive. I think even the panel mentioned it during the game, is that he didn't do a whole lot of shaking and baking in the backfield. He just one cut and he was gone. Yeah. I think that's one thing too that you saw from him is, hey, I got to stop trying to, wiggle and shake, rattle and roll, and let me just get up the field. And you saw his speed on display after, I think the last one, when he actually ran for the touchdown, he jumped over a guy and then just kind of just maneuvered through the defense. That was amazing. That's where you have DeAndre Swift put his impact on this game, put his stamp on this game, is his ability to scramble, his ability to use his agility and speed. And so you saw that on display. So yeah, Roschon probably was going to be used a little bit more, but again, I like the balance that they use. Going back to your talk on Caleb Williams, man, the touchdown to DJ Moore, to me, the reason why that was so impressive is because DJ Moore was not his first read. Yeah. And there was a lot of people that, for whatever reason, are criticizing Caleb Williams, saying that he's not necessarily able to process like we think. He's only a first-read quarterback. And for whatever reason, I'm trying to figure out, well, why is that? Because in college, you've seen him go through his progressions. You've seen him go and scan the field. You've seen him look off defenders and then throw. And that's exactly what he did. And so that, to me, is showing a competent quarterback. That, to me, is showing a special Caleb Williams, a special quarterback that is continuing to grow, and you love to see it.
No, yeah, 100%. I think that Caleb's game was opened up by the fact that you finally found this run game. It opened up the play action game. It opened up the fact that we got over 100 in the chat.
Oh yeah, we getting the pump today, baby. Oh.
And if we give it a second here, we may even get to.
Are we gonna get to?
All right, it didn't move. I don't know. I thought it might move.
Right,
I thought it might move.
okay.
But no, I mean, I think here the fact that it opened up the run game, the fact that all of a sudden Caleb Williams has that play action to play off of. It makes him so much more dangerous. Now you can't tell what he's doing. Even the fact that we saw Caleb Williams get involved in the run game when things got tough a little bit. I thought that those were things that really stood out to me as far as offensively for this Bears team. And then all of a sudden, now you can even in that, right now you're more worried about the run game. Now you're trying to rush. Oh, there it is, over 200 in the chat.
Oh, there we go.
200. But no, even now they're trying to rush. Now they're trying to get pressure on Caleb a lot quicker. Make sure that you shut that run game down. Little dump over the top. Boop, there it is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And yeah, the deep pass is still a little bit of a struggle right now, but how efficient he is on the short passes, I think, especially in that second half, it really just, it speaks to, how much he can do if you just give him a little bit of execution behind him. Even in that second half, right? That DJ Moore play stands out to me because it's one where the pocket is closing in around him. And even as a guy who was a Justin Fields fan, right? Like, I know Justin Fields is bailing out on that.
Yeah.
I know he's not standing in that pocket as it's collapsing around him. I do like the fact that we have a young quarterback who's going to stand in there and go, well, here it comes. Bloop, there it is. There's your touchdown. And because he saw something, and I don't know if you heard this after the game, he talked about it with Jason McKee over on ESPN 1000. Shout out to Flavio B with the Bardon. Big Bardon's in the building, man. Bardon's. If you ain't dropped the Bardon, drop a Bardon in the building, man. But no, the fact that he saw something in basically they're either going to have to play DJ with the safety over the top or they're going to have to put the backer on him. They put the linebacker on DJ Moore. And Caleb's like, well, I'm going to just have to take a hit because if they get me, they get me. But there's no way that I'm moving until I see DJ where I need him to throw this football, because you put a linebacker on DJ Moore, that's a mismatch every single time. So not only is he standing in the pocket, but he's sitting there assessing what's happening. He's seeing how the play is unfolding, and then he's going out there and he's making a decision to basically say, I have to stand in here as long as I can to get this throw in here. That's what you want from your quarterback. That's especially what you want from your young quarterback, and it's what cracks me up about people who are criticizing this young man 4 games into his career when he's been under duress the entire freaking time.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, and I think we kind of understand why people are criticizing or labeling him. People are nuts saying he's already a bust, but the fact that some people even are saying he's not a generational talent or he's not special or anything like that. If you just look at the tape, there's a lot of things that he's doing now that are not necessarily this flashy, explosive plays, but he's performing like an NFL quarterback. He's doing the things that you need to do to be an NFL quarterback. If you look on the other side of the ball, on the other side of the opponent, rather, Matthew Stafford, the reason why he looked successful, even without his best players, is because he did the things that he needed to do to get the team down the field. You saw the dink and dunks. You saw the quick throws, the throws that were there for him. He pretty much threw it to the players that the defense gave, the Bears defense gave to him. So that's exactly what Caleb Williams did. I told you in the last week, one of the keys to the game is to make sure that you mirror kind of what Matt Stafford is doing. Now, ironically, he gave us an interception, almost gave us 2, but I said you have to play perfect, clean football, and that's exactly what Caleb Williams did. Caleb Williams never, ever, I don't think, even had a throw that was errant to the point where it looked like an interception. I believe throughout the entire game. I don't remember a play. Now, correct me if I'm wrong.
I don't think so either. Yeah, I don't remember one. I don't remember one. I give him that.
So, I mean, despite him only having 157 on 23 passes, it was still efficient. It was safe, and he game managed the heck out of this game. And I know we haven't done this in a while. I know I haven't been called the stat guy in a while, but I got a stat for you.
Oh,
I got
boy,
a meaty stat for you. Can you talk about the pressure that Caleb has been in throughout the last couple of weeks? Caleb Williams completed just 44% of his passes versus the blitz the first 3 weeks of the season.
Yeah.
Yesterday, he was 8 for 9 for 75 yards against the blitz. And so you see that quick progression. You see that even with the pressure, he's knowing how to get that ball out. He's knowing where to look. He's knowing to
Yeah.
check down now. He's not saying, okay, I'm going to hold on to this and try to just Hail Mary it every time. That is what you want to see from Caleb.
And the check down is there, right? I think that's the
That
biggest
too, yeah.
difference too. You know, like I talked about this with Meller, Jeff Meller on the post game show on ESPN 1000. That you know, early on throughout the weeks, it's different because when you look at the first 3 weeks, everybody was like, "Well, he's not taking the check down. You got to take the easy." Well, it's got to be there for me to take it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's got to be there for me to dump it off, and it just wasn't there. You weren't using DeAndre Swift in that way. You were trying to use DeAndre Swift as a blocker. You're trying to use DeAndre Swift you're trying to use DeAndre Swift in ways he's not supposed to be used.
Yeah.
Like that's really what it came down to me. And so seeing the Chicago Bears struggle, I mean, and I thought so that drive came in the third quarter. Actually, I misspoke on that one. I mean, like you got to think about Caleb Williams left the first half 5 for 7 for 28 yards. 28 yards, y'all.
Yeah, that
In the second half, he was 12 for 16 for 129. And the things that changed the most was all of a sudden the DeAndre Swift screen passes, they're opening up. Why? Because these magical men are blocking in front of him. It's a crazy concept that if you block the big guys on the other side, maybe your guys can run forward. It's player execution, dog. And so, like, I just think I don't think that the game plan changed dramatically from the first half to the second half. I don't think the play calls changed dramatically from the first half to the second half. I think you called one less tight end screen. Actually, did you? No, because Gerald Everett got one. So you still called your one tight end screen a half.
Called one. You got one. You had to go to it.
But it's a situation where when your players execute, if they go out there and give you that effort in the first half that they gave you in the second half, you're talking about a 260-yard game and not a 157-yard game. And I think that's the thing. My concerns are not around the kid. My concerns are not around the quarterback. My concerns are around the players executing around him. The kid's going to make mistakes. He's going to have overthrows. That throw to Rome Odunze, missed it.
Yeah.
Absolutely missed it in the end zone. The throw to DJ Moore, I put that more on DJ than I do on Caleb because DJ slowed up. I think that's more of a miscommunication. And I want to talk about that actually because Caleb Williams did something in this game that I thought really stood out to me. After that play breaks down. Let's talk about that after we take a quick break. Shout out to Dan Tanner before we take a break. Said the Rhino package with the O-lineman. Roschon was genius. Haven't seen that since 85 with the fridge and Walter Payton. We saw it with remember Akeem Hicks used to get back there.
Yeah.
Remember Akeem Hicks used to get back there. We saw it with Akeem Hicks. I give Nagy a little credit on today's episode, man. Hey, if you haven't done so, hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. Appreciate you guys for tuning in and showing love. We're going to take a quick break. And after the break, I want to talk about what Caleb Williams did on the sideline that I thought really stood out to me after missing DJ Moore on that play. We'll be right back right after this. Happening Bears Nation, it's your boy Pat the designer from the Windy City Breeze, where we keep it 100 about everything Chicago Bears. Now, if you're like me, you don't just watch the game, you live it, and that's why you need to check out BetDSI. BetDSI is where it's at if you want to put your money where your mouth is. They've been doing it for over 20 years, giving you the best odds, lightning fast payouts, and a platform that's as solid as the best O-line. Whether you're betting on the Bears to take it all the way or making clutch live bets during the game, BetDSI has you covered. And here is the kicker. Just because you're rolling with the Windy City Breeze, BetDSI is hooking you up. Sign up today with the promo code WCB, and they'll give you 120% bonus on your first deposit up to $1,000. That's free money, folks, to make sure that you're winning as you back our boys in the blue and orange. So what are you doing? What are you waiting for? Head over to betdsi.eu, use the code WCB, and start turning your Bears passion into serious cash. BetDSI, where real Bears fans get it done. Appreciate you guys for tuning in and watching the show. Today's episode of the podcast is brought to you by Aura. Have you ever done a Google search on your own name. You'd be surprised what pops up. Your full name, email address, home address, health records, your relatives. It's all out there. And that's why I've been using Aura, the sponsor of today's video. Aura shows me which data brokers are selling my information and automatically submits opt-out requests just for me. Cleaning up my information not only helps reduce the amount of spam I get, but it protects me from hackers who could use that information to help them access my social media, bank accounts, and other sensitive information. It's really simple to set up. I don't have to download several apps or go to things like antivirus, VPN, password management, parental controls, identity theft, but you can get all of that in one place with Aura. I get everything at one affordable price as well. You may already have one or two of these tools, but not having Aura is like leaving the front door locked while leaving the back door and windows wide open. For you to be able to take advantage of Aura, we got a special deal for you here today. Stop data brokers from exposing your personal information. Go to my sponsor at https:/aura.com/the Windy City. Again, that is aura.com/the Windy City to get a 14-day free trial and see how much of your information is being sold. Hey. Welcome back, Breeze Nation. Appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing love. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. Talking about the Chicago Bears dub over the Los Angeles Rams. And listen, a much needed dub after two losses that just had us feeling like we were getting punched in the gut. One that made me crash out a little bit, and another one that I couldn't even crash out over it. I mean, the Colts one, I was just like, we're here. I don't know. I got to get out of here. the Colts one was just like, I don't know. All right, we're back.
All right.
I ain't gonna lie to you too. After a 28-yard first half, I was like, we got 3 wins coming this season, don't we? We're doing this. Are we back
3
down
total wins?
I was at a dark place at 28. 28 yards, dog. A 28-yard first half, dog.
I understand, but my goodness, 3 total wins on the
my
season?
man was 5 for 7 for 28 yards. We had 28 passing yards. We had 34 rushing yards. Caleb was 7 of them.
But we were still up, wasn't it 10-6? We were still up 10-6.
No, we were down 6-0 in the first half.
At halftime? I thought it was 10-6.
Was it 10-6 at half? It might have been.
Hey, man, you got to have some more positivity in your life,
you might
baby.
be right on that answer. You might be right on that. I was stressed.
We were up and you were still mad.
I was stressed. Because I knew the Rams was cheeks, too. That was the other problem. I was like, this is not a good football team.
Oh, my goodness.
I knew that was not good. I was just like, here we go. You are right. We were up 10-6.
Oh, that's hilarious, man.
It was so bad, though. I didn't like it.
I understand. I understand.
It felt like we were down. That's what it was.
Probably did. Yeah, 28 yards is crazy.
But no, I want to talk about something that I saw to Caleb Williams that I thought was absolutely astounding. The fact that this young man in his 4th game in the NFL, overthrowing DJ Moore, whoever it's on, it is what it is, right?
Yeah.
That's right. We got a strip sack that put us at the 20, KD. That's 100% right. Got a strip sack to put us at the 20.
Oh, that's right. Yep.
But my thing that I want to see from this young man is him be able to go out there, see what he's supposed to see, assess it, try to make a throw, whether you make it or not. But then after that, he misses the throw to DJ Moore. He goes to him on the sidelines. And he's trying to talk through how they can get on the same page. He's trying to talk through how they can figure this thing out. What do we need to do? Where do you want me? Where do you want the football at? This is where I want to put the football. Has that thing been over my face this whole time?
Actually, no, it just popped up. I didn't know if you saw that. But I mean, hey, in case nobody knew the score, it was 24-18.
Scoreboard out of nowhere. What is happening there?
I felt like this was
Oh
the
my
perfect
goodness,
time
do we
to
have an
introduce
actual
myself.
guest? What is going on
The
here?
pettiest man alive just jumping in out of nowhere.
Jesus. Oh, are you
I mean, hey,
serious?
listen, per our agreement,
what
I
are we
can come
doing?
in on the second half.
He's the only dude I know in the world that gets
God.
logged out of something anytime he opens his computer. I've never seen a
This
computer.
guy here,
like
man.
No, the reality is Pat hates me, right? Pat hates me so much that he
don't blame
changes the
Pat.
password every 30 days. And then when I try to log in, it don't work.
I'm gonna
And
tell
then
you
I
this
try to
right
sit there
now.
and post something. They be like, oh, no, you can't do that. So that's all it is.
Don't blame Pat. I'm gonna tell you this right now. If somebody figure out one password, they got them all. We got
I
to
don't
get
know
better
why he said that
That
on
is
air.
bad.
Like,
That's
listen, you know
bad.
what I mean? Like, we got to get better
We gotta get better with that.
Hey, that's diabolical work. This man says that on air. We need that
I
oral
mean, listen,
sponsor
ain't nobody
right
gonna figure
now.
out the
How about
one.
that?
If they figure out the one, we'll change it then. We'll get to that. But no, man, listen, I think the fact that you have a young quarterback who is going out there and looking to not only improve week to week, but also just in the game, because later on in the game, he does find DJ Moore for that touchdown pass. He does find DJ Moore over the middle. He does put the right touch on that ball. He does stand in the pocket and take the pressure that's coming around him while delivering a good football, right? Like they're still working through this. And I think that's the part that makes it tough for people to understand is this is a young quarterback that's trying to figure the game out for himself and figure out how to get in sync with his wide receivers. And I know everybody looks at Jaden Daniels last night and says, or yesterday in the afternoon, as he destroys a Cardinals team who, listen, I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm impressed by what Jaden Daniels did. That Cardinals defense is abysmal though.
It's trash.
The first 3 weeks, I was like, maybe they're better. And I was like, no, they not. They still can't stop nothing. But I know people look at the Jaden Daniels situation. They're like, why isn't Caleb doing that? Jaden Daniels is not under nearly as much duress as Caleb Williams. So Caleb is trying to develop through the pressure that is around him, always being under duress, always dealing with the blitz, always dealing with some kind of defensive lineman in his face or a DB coming off of the edge, somebody that's killing Braxton Jones on the left side, right? Like he's always dealing with that on every single drop back. And so I think that seeing that level of development in this young man and seeing him have the wherewithal to go over to DJ after that, who I believe DJ said that was on me, but I don't want to be a lip reader because y'all also said the DJ said, dog, I need you to Tyson Bagent.
Tyson Bagent.
Running past him. I'm like, he didn't say that, bro.
I think that
I
It
just
sure looked like he did, Pat.
I think I just think that this Bears team has a young man who in 4 games in understands what he needs to have the standard be. And I love the fact that we're seeing that this early on.
I love Caleb Williams' emotion that he shows on the field. You're getting a quarterback who's going to, in almost on every play, whether it's a good play, whether it's a bad play, you can kind of see him kind of shake his head or kind of look defeated at times. I'm not gonna lie. I think that's a good thing. We don't usually get that from our Bears quarterbacks. You know, we usually get a real stoic quarterback. Justin Fields is kind of just like even killed throughout all the mess that he's been through. You got a quarterback who truly has a passion and wants to win, wants to be successful, and so to me that goes into it being a good leader. Those kind of qualities, and so you saw that on full display when he went to the sideline, was talking to Keenan and DJ. You didn't see bad body language this time. Now, I'm not going to say that was neither here nor there, but obviously the camera panned in on DJ a lot the week they lost, and he just looked pissed at the world. But my thing is, they looked like they were trying to get on the same page. DJ was listening. It clearly shows that Caleb has everybody's ear at least to hear, okay, how can we get on the same page? Even though those throws do look bad, because I agree that DJ, I feel like if DJ, even if he didn't slow down, that ball to him
It
in the
might have
end
been a
zone
little
was
far. It might have been
it
a
was a
little
little high.
Yeah.
It was a little high. You know, so Caleb still has to, I don't know what it is with his deep ball, all of a sudden. He has to be a little bit more accurate with that. But I love the fact that they're all trying to get on the same page. You see that chemistry growing, and that's what you love to see.
I think the one thing I see is you're always going to get those comparisons. To me, again, that Washington game that comes up is always going to be the game of the year to kind of stack up against our young QBs. You all called me crazy early on. I don't look so crazy now. That game is going to be very important, especially when you see it. But you definitely
So
can't
we
compare.
called you crazy for the Washington game. I think we called you crazy for
Talking about last year?
the Panthers game, just because we
No.
were like, they're gonna win. Like,
No.
they might
Like,
not now.
sincerely, the two games I had as the benchmarks for Caleb was Carolina and Washington. Well, really, it was Washington and Minnesota, because of the two quarterbacks he was drafted with.
Because of
JJ. Yeah.
But that you see how that's going, right? But again, like, the noise is always going to be louder than the reality, right? And so, in all actuality, it's a totally different situation. We wish nothing but success for these young men, but like, when it comes down to Caleb, you see improvement week over week.
That boy ain't got no job for a while.
Who you talking about?
JJ ain't got no job for a while. Sam
Yeah,
Darnold.
JJ.
Donald
Not
took that
old,
thing
bro.
over, man.
Hey,
Sam
if the
Darnold
plan
is
was to
still
sit him for a
very young.
year, you got it. Like, that boy finna sit.
How old
for
is
a
Sam
good year.
Darnold? Sam Darnold is 27 right now.
Is he really?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
JJ ain't got no chance. Hey, Sam is balling right now. Anyway,
Just trade him. Just trade
but
him.
when it comes down to Caleb, like, listen, a lot of rookie things. Maybe we went at that hot start, but it's all about realistically setting a foundation for a long future. And so I'm okay with how it looked. I'm happy to see the improvement week over week. I'm happy to see not just the players, but really Shane really dive into, really call plays that help them execute. Like, I think, Pat, you mentioned earlier, whether it's the right call or wrong call, you still have to execute it. And so now we're cutting through all of that minutia to get to the point where it's like, hey, no matter what, let's put ourselves in the best position to execute. And you're starting to see that dot to Cole Kmet over the middle before that touchdown run. I don't think that gets enough credit because he had to throw that.
That was probably the best throw of the day.
It's a dot, right? The dot to DJ Moore, of course, right? Easy money. But, like, you start to see that more and more. So the accuracy is starting to get there. You're starting to see that more. But what's the common denominator between both of those throws? Clean pocket. Yeah. He was a little bit under pressure, but still, like, realistically,
clean enough.
Time to operate and throw.
That's regular pressure, though. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, there's a difference in pressure. Shout out Nova. You peeped that yesterday. Shameless plug. We're never above the shameless plug, though.
Breeze Nation.
But I think there's a difference in, like, clean pocket or I shouldn't say that. There's a difference in, like, pressure bearing down on you and having pressure around you. Having pressure around you is fine if my two bookend tackles, and we ain't got those, are sitting there holding up like they did on the DJ Moore play, right? Like, they're sitting there literally stopping guys from being able to get to the quarterback at the last minute so that he can deliver a pass. That's a pocket where he gets the football out probably about 2.6, 2.7 seconds, you know what I mean? But still a quick ball. Still getting that ball out quick enough that I just need a little bit of extra time so DJ can get past the backer because he's going to kill him, which he did. I think that's different than, Jared Verse basically just throwing Braxton Jones to the ground, smacking him on the backside as he goes past, saying good job, and then running to Caleb. Because here's one thing that I do still have a concern with. We've talked about a lot of the praises that we have for this team. Caleb Williams got sacked 5 times yesterday. I said 6 on the radio, but I went back and one of them wasn't a sack because it was like he got hit on the arm as he was throwing it, and it ended up being nothing. But
5 times.
5 times yesterday. 2 of them get called back because
I was about to say he got hit way more than that.
2 of them get called back because of penalties. So they only count 3 on the stat sheet, but it counts as 5 on Caleb Williams' body.
Yeah.
5 times.
On his body.
But listen, I mean, pause it up. I don't care. Like, my quarterback is getting hit way too much.
Yeah.
If we being real, he's been sacked. What would that be? 20 times already this season?
I think it was 13 through 3 games or
13 through 3. Yeah, so 16. So 18 times throughout this season?
Yeah.
Because he's at 16 now. He had 3 in this game.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
Like, dog, this man is trending to, and I love Joel being like, this is not a Jay Cutler situation. This is a Jay Cutler situation. Caleb Williams is trending towards having a 50-plus sack season his first year, and the only thing that may save him from having a 50-plus sack season is if he misses a few games because he gets banged up.
Get that man some protection, please.
You're not going to get it. And that's why I do like the fact that I guess if there was anything that changed in the play calling in that second half, it did feel like we ran a little bit more 12 personnel. It did feel like we ran a little bit more 21 personnel.
Yeah.
With a big man basically checking in at that fullback position. Like that is
I do like that. The Kramer.
Silver Harvest. That is such a dumb joke. Said 18 times. Sacks can vote already.
Oh, I get it. All right. That was good. I see what you did there.
I get it. I see what you did. See what you got going.
Silver Harvest. There you go. By the way, just a thought, guys. Over 300 in the chat. 300. Hey, kid, you got to take those morning meats. But no, I think at the end of the day, here's the thing that stands out to me most about this game is the fact that even with that, in the second half, a little bit of a change in play calling to try and get him some more protection. He gets a little bit more protection. And just with that little bit, he looked like a night and day different quarterback.
Yeah.
Just with that little bit of that's what you need. He looked like a night and day different quarterback. That means that you have something here if you can protect this kid. Yeah. That means that you have something here if you can shore up this offensive line. And we do got to talk about this as well. Because not to say that the offensive line looked leaps and bounds better in the second half. I don't think that it did. But we did see a little bit more protection after Tevin Jenkins ended up going out of this game. Tevin Jenkins has definitely struggled this season. There's no question about it. And Tevin Jenkins goes out with a rib injury. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. If Tevin can play through it, I know he will. If Tevin can play through the injury, I know he will. He's just that kind of player. He knows what's on the line for him career-wise if he misses time this season. He knows what's on the – I mean, it's dollar signs every play that he misses pretty much.
Man.
But when you see this now, and maybe it's too early to ask the question because you got to see if he's going to miss or not, but is this the beginning of the end of our time here with Tevin Jenkins, seeing the struggles that he had early on, seeing how the offensive line looks different? I mean, at the end of the day, it does come with – I mean, this season is about keeping Caleb Williams alive and keeping and making sure that he develops. Very hard to do that on your back. In that second half, Caleb – I'm trying to see defensively here. I believe he took 1 sack in the second half, which is
it was definitely more. It was less pressure in the second half. Yeah.
So I mean, is this kind of the
writing on the wall?
Writing on the wall for Tevin Jenkins here?
Yeah. TJ is. I'm gonna be honest with you. With all the injuries he's had to go through and have to endure, it's unfortunate. This is probably our best, if not one of our best, tackles, or rather offensive linemen on the line. But best availability is availability.
Yeah.
And at a certain point, when you keep getting injured, like you even mentioned, these guys are big, man. They keep sustaining all these different injuries, wrist, back, neck, leg. Like at a certain point, it's like, okay, their value is going to continue to go down, and I think his value is going to go down. And the reason why I say that is because next year I feel like Poles is going to, or he better address the offensive line strongly through the draft. You see Ryan Poles going to all these different games, probably observing a lot of different offensive linemen in college right now. I feel like Tevin is just at this time, the timing is just off. He's not going to get paid the money he probably deserves because he's just getting too hurt.
I'm not gonna lie, Barelissimo does have a point. Someone did say Tevin was like the best left tackle in the league. I'm not gonna say who told us that. I'm not gonna say
in
who
that
on
draft
the show alluded to Tevin being one of the best in the league.
Left tackle?
On his college team, he was a right tackle, I believe.
Hey, all I'm saying is somebody here did say that he was one of the best in the league.
Left guard.
Hey, listen.
That's a very different position.
Hey, let guard. Well, I did say that based off of the comment I saw from
I'm sitting
Bellissimo.
here.
But
I'm
it was
like,
like,
what are you
hey,
talking about?
listen,
Left
hey,
tackle.
but Bellissimo, you
But
did see
Bellissimo
what I
said in
saw.
the
Like
draft.
he did say that he was one of the best guards in the league. I'm sorry, but he ain't been it. But
Last
I will say
season, he
this:
was one
all
of the
in
best
all,
guards in the league.
all in all, though,
I
sincerely,
like that name, Bellissimo. Yeah,
you
look out for
don't
Parker
wish this
Burlstead.
on anyone, but it may be time. Look, I
Yeah.
don't think Pose would have drafted Tevin. To be honest with you, this was a pace pick, if I'm not
No,
mistaken.
because Tevin has shown talent.
Yeah.
Stop drafting people that play like you. But no, just the injury concerns and stuff like that. The one thing I do know about Pose is he has been risk averse when it comes to that. Tevin walked in with those type of situations, and now you're seeing them, years down the line where you
can't
can't
say that either. He just drafted Karana Magaji.
That's true, but it wasn't a back injury.
No, it was a quad injury.
It was
His quad was torn
He's
off his
still
leg.
Oh no, but you could come back from a quad injury. Back injuries almost never heal.
That's true.
So it's like I don't think he would
Please.
have drafted him realistically. Now, again, that's just me and my assumptions, but the reality of it is, when Tevin went down, it did look a little cleaner, did look a little better. And I can see it's sad to say this, but you kind of roped Tevin in with that Nate Davis thing because it's like, hey, you want this opportunity, but you ain't gonna get this money. And I think the Nate Davis situation is really going to impact Tevin because it's like, hey, best ability is availability. You ain't been available. And we're already having to deal with 10 million on somebody who's not, I mean, different position, but like we're already having to deal with paying somebody who ain't really available. When he is, he gets ran over. So it's like,
yeah,
I all of those things
can't
are
rope him
compound.
in with Nate Davis because Nate Davis is an effort problem, and I don't have an effort problem from Tevin Jenkins. Tevin Jenkins is out there trying.
When he's out there, he's doing his job.
He's just getting cooked. You know what I mean? Like early in the season, he's just getting cooked right now. I
he
like
have
this
a Coleman Shelton problem.
I like, 100%. I like this comment from C-Rod. If Tevin comes back, put him at right guard. Him and right were a nasty combo. I do think that if he can play, I saw enough out of Matt Pryor yesterday to feel better. Now, again, it's against a Rams defensive line that is not great. Your offensive line is not going to be great this year. It's just not. But there was something that was great last season, and that was Tevin Jenkins and Darnell Wright on that right side together. I've been clamoring for that the entire time. I've literally been like, put Matt Pryor in at left guard. He looks like he's got some things figured out there. He's a better guard than he is a tackle for sure. I'm not saying that he's elite, but he's a mammoth of a man, and he can move guys out of the way if he's got good technique and stuff like that. To me, you get that combination of Wright and Tevin at on that right side, that opens up running the football to the right whenever you want to run the football to the right. You saw enough in my mind in a second half where Matt Pryor just looked a lot more competent at that left guard position than maybe we'd seen him look in preseason and things like that. I think that that's absolutely the spot that I look for the Bears to go out there and address most, that right guard position, because that's the spot we have the most questions at. That's why Matt Pryor's in.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I wanted to mention something. I know we're coming up on time here. I wanted to mention something that kind of related to the keys that we talked about this past week on how to win the game. I got the keys, and that was the personnel usage at the right time. There was a specific play in the fourth quarter. It was 18-24, so Rams still in shot of winning the game. The Bears had the ball. I think it was 2:47 left. It was 3rd and 1. They had Roschon Johnson in the backfield, I think being led. The fullback was, I want to say, either Mercedes Lewis
That was Doug Kramer.
Or Doug Kramer. 3rd and 1. Jared Verse was screaming into the backfield, got a hand on Roschon Johnson, but because of his power, he kind of went through that grab and got the gain. Got the, I want to say, 3 or 4 yards to continue, running out the clock. I want to say that if DeAndre Swift, even though he had a very good game, was the guy that you put in the backfield there, that might have been loss on downs. That might have been coming up short. That might have been, maybe a 1 yard loss. And it would have been 4th and 2 because he's probably not going through that tackle, that grab. And so, again, I love the situational game plan, the situational play calling, the usage of the right people at the right time. Sometimes it's just the little things that get you to a victory. Did not expect Matthew Stafford to get the interceptions because he technically could have had two. Jaquan Brisker had a really good game, but those are the things that you want to see from this Bears team. You want to see the small incremental things work that lead to a big victory.
Yeah, no, I think that there's a lot of there's a lot to say about the personnel usage on this team, especially after what we've seen through 3 weeks. It's been disrespectful. Yeah, I mean, DeAndre Carter is still pissed off about the fact that he had to block a man 150 pounds more than he was.
Bro, what in the world?
My favorite thing, if y'all watch the All 22, my favorite thing is him just looking to the sideline like, what the
What is going on?
how'd you go with that bar?
He got eviscerated.
I got thrown into the man to tackle him. Go get that guy. This is like a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle scene, dog. But I think the fact that it's the timely usage of Roschon, and and I don't know if I'm going to sit here and tell you that I think that DeAndre Swift has absolutely won this position, that everything is open. I think you unlocked something for this game. Can you do it again versus the Panthers? That's the question. Can you keep going back to that well? Is DeAndre Swift going to catch the football? Right? Like that's the other thing. Like Swift hasn't caught the football well to start the season off. Is he going to catch the football? Are those blocks going to be made? Are the players going to execute the plays the same way that they did? That's what it comes down to me, right? And you talk about, the play where Roschon almost gets wrapped up. Swift maybe isn't in that position to get grabbed because he's a little bit quicker than Roschon is. So maybe he gets out quicker point. If he sees the holes open up, if he sees the blocks, that I put a lot of this on, and I'm not saying that Shane Waldron is called a perfect game by any means, but I do put a lot of this season on the players still being able to go out there and execute, on Caleb being able to make the throws, on DeAndre Swift catching the pass, on the guys in front of DeAndre Swift blocking so that he can catch the pass, because in some situations, especially if you're throwing a screen pass, it's more advantageous to just let the ball hit the ground than it is to catch the ball and lose 5 yards. So I think that you have to take all that into account, and this was a good showing because, again, like I said, it was a tale of two halves. In the first half, you weren't executing play calling wise. In the second half, the play calling wasn't that much different.
Yeah.
You just went out there and you were actually making the plays work. And I think that that's you mentioned Keenan Allen, right? Not heavily involved in the pass game as much as we would like to see. But as far as like being a lead blocker on that day, being a decoy on that day, I think when the guy that's coming off of the heel injury,
he did his job,
is the guy that's doing the best job out there. It kind of sets the tone for everybody else to go out there and do their job. And that those are the small leadership things that you don't always see out of the field that get called out.
I got a question. Have we really determined that the Swift thing is really just the politics of football? I'm paying him money. He got to be out there. You got to use him.
I think that DeAndre Swift was absolutely not going to get used, and then he started playing well.
Yeah.
I think they went with the hot hand, which I commend the coaching staff for doing. I think that DeAndre Swift and the coaching staff, I mean, like second half again, like I said this yesterday on the post game show.
Mm-hmm.
Matt Eberflus coached a heck of a game. Matt Eberflus outcoached Sean McVay. Say what
That's
you will.
saying something.
He didn't have all his weapons. I understand that. I just watched Sean McVay outcoach Kyle Shanahan.
Yep.
He could not have all his weapons. I just watched Sean McVay outcoach Kyle Shanahan. He's a good freaking head coach. Matt Eberflus had a solution for everything that Sean McVay threw at Flus's way.
Yeah.
That's impressive. Especially in the red zone. You had 5 red zone drives, 4 of which ended in field goals. You had 1 field goal that was outside the red zone, which of course they end up missing, right? But like, that's saying something about your coaching staff taking growth. I think it's saying something about Matt Eberflus taking a step as a head coach. The fact that they were basically like, we're going to use Roschon because DeAndre has not worked. And then when DeAndre worked, he was like, pivot, keep him in.
Yeah.
Like that's what your head coach is supposed to do. It finally feels like we may actually have a head coach. Now, do we have the best head coach? We'll see. But at least I'm seeing my guy
about
do
that.
some head coaching things and not just DC things. Yeah, I know he's a great defensive mind. I know he's a great DC. I know he can dial up defenses all day. Can he be a good head coach? I thought that this was a good head coaching day for the Chicago Bears, and we haven't said that much in his tenure here.
Yeah, and might I also add, obviously, at the very end of this, we do want to give some love to Tory Taylor, okay? We haven't mentioned Tory Taylor today. Let's just go over the stats real quick, all right, Pat? I won't take too long, but we got to mention Tory Taylor and the impact he had on this game, okay? It mentioned that he averaged 55.4 yards per punt against the Rams and is the 10th highest average in a game in Bears history. That 64-yarder, I believe, was epic. I just want to say he put his stamp on this game. You're talking about putting the team in a position where they have to go the length of the field.
Yeah.
He impacted the game. Tory Taylor,
Pat,
thank you.
The Bills had a really good punter last night. What was his name?
I don't know.
Hey,
What
the
is your
Bills were
problem?
punting that. The Bills were punting the heck
slander
out
on
of
this
that
show.
ball,
What
by
are
the
you
way.
doing?
Hey,
What are you doing?
no, here's the thing. The Bills were punting the heck out of that ball. Baltimore had them on skates. So we got we got to see their punter a whole lot. You want to know why I'm mentioning that? Because I don't want to hear about no 4th round punter.
Hey, no, listen.
Hey man, what is
he
your
did
problem, man? We're trying to give grace to
he changed the game yesterday. I give him credit for that. He changed the game yesterday. He absolutely flipped the field. Heck of a job. I mean that last punt of the game is the game. It puts you in a position where you're backed up against the end zone. They throw an interception immediately after. They're like, listen, balled out. But I might not need my 4th round punter if I trade that 4th round pick and that Panthers pick and go get a 2nd round pick.
Well, I tell you, anytime I get to put a little positivity on the punter, these guys try to push it back.
I give him credit.
Hey, you know what, dog? I just want this to be like Caleb said. I don't want him to punt much. You know, I just don't want
too much story.
Neither do I.
I don't want to be in a situation where we're going against Carolina, which, by the way, different Carolina than we projected earlier. Somehow, some way, they kind of clicking a little bit.
No,
that game yesterday was kind of interesting. I'm like,
the Bengals defense sucks though.
The Bengals defense does suck.
The Bengals defense is terrible.
Hey, we got to start having the conversation about, is Joe Burrow still that guy? Like, we still have to have those conversations eventually. Because
I mean, like, they have broken
cliff.
They might have literally ended Joe Burrow. Like, and it's sad because like, is Joe Burrow still that guy? Yes and no, kind. Well, no,
looking real Sam Darnold-ish right now.
I didn't say that because hold on. Let me see.
Sam Darnold's winning games though.
I didn't look at the numbers, but Joe Burrow has had a really good last 2 games.
Yeah.
Let me see.
For fantasy purposes,
Joe Burrow, 232, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. I didn't see the game. I saw the results of it. So I can't say whether he dominated. But the week before that, 324, 3 touchdowns. He lost, but like he didn't lose because
he still put up numbers. Yeah.
Listen, he's looking real Sam Darnold-ish right
now. Hey man, what did Marcellus was it Marcellus Wiley said that? No, it wasn't Marcellus Wiley. Swagoo said it. He said, I don't want to live in a world where my quarterback can have 324 and 3 touchdowns, and all of a sudden he's the reason we lost.
That's what I'm saying. Numbers don't always mean everything. We got a quarterback that threw for 157. Won the game, baby.
Zero Shield said Tory Taylor could be in the Hall of Fame ceremony, and Pat's gonna be
talking
about
right. Thank you, Zero.
Pick.
Thank you.
Hey,
put some respect on him for a week.
Swift could be at his Hall of Fame ceremony.
I said he played well. Here's the thing.
That's crazy.
Play well every week.
The 2 players that Pat despises, the $8 million guy and the 4th round pick, both impacted.
How much does he make?
Hey, and I hope they do it again next week.
Well, they better. It's Carolina.
You know what I mean? Like,
hey man, listen. I no longer just sit there and do that. I don't do the whole where it's just Carolina. Carolina's stringing some things
nah,
together.
Bro, it's Carolina.
Changing QB is wild.
Yeah, but you always get a little bit of a bump in the change of QB. The reason I'm not worried about Carolina is because they have 2 weeks of tape now on Andy Dalton.
Yeah,
you have 2 weeks of tape on Andy Dalton with Xavier Legette. You have 2 weeks of tape on Chuba Hubbard with Andy Dalton.
Deontay Johnson.
Give me the guy to just outcoach Sean McVay versus Andy Dalton. Yeah, I'll take that. Like I'm not worried about Andy Dalton with 2 weeks of tape on him already. I would have been worried about Andy Dalton the exact time that you should have been worried about him. That first week where it's kind of like the unknown. Like who Andy Dalton is, but you don't know who he is with this team. It comes out and balls out. It looks great. And it's like, oh snap, we got a problem here. Wait a minute. We didn't expect this. I understand that more than like even last week. I mean, like we talking about Andy Dalton like he won. They did not.
They did win last week.
They didn't win this week.
Oh, this week no. They didn't win this week.
They were competitive,
but I mean,
but
you got to compare it to the first 2 games they had. I mean, they were barely getting over 10 points. Now all of a sudden you put a 30 ball and 24 ball up there, and then you put up stats like Joe Burrow. It's like it's you have competent QB play back there. So it's like I'm not sitting there praising Andy Dalton like he's going to sit there and they're going to go to the playoffs. I can
definitely have competent QB play.
Hey, listen, I care less about Carolina. The worse they suck, the better this pick looks for us, right? Something along those lines. I want this pick to be as high as possible. But it's about us potentially losing to them that gets me. So it's like, hey, yes, Eberflus coached a good game against the Rams, depleted Rams, but a good coaching game against the Rams.
Yeah,
let's carry that over into Carolina, because if we lose to the Red Rifle over here and Buddy, who I can't even understand, we're gonna have a problem.
Andy Dalton was 16 for 21 in the first half for 134 yards, 1 tutty, 1 interception. He was 9 for 19 in the second half, 86 yards, a tutty. But the game was already over. Bengals were up 21. I guess it wasn't over. No, it was over. Bengals were up 31-14. Yeah, no, I ain't worried about the Red Rifle. Hey, man, we appreciate y'all for tuning in, showing love. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star. Flacco's a good example. You never know what happens when you had the random guy come in.
I'm worried about Flacco more than
Indiana might actually win some games.
Well, they got to. No, probably not. Appreciate y'all for tuning in, showing love. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do, man. For the pettiest man alive, Mr. P. Kid, and of course, Mr. Media himself, Jordan JC. It's your boy Pat the Designer back at it again. We'll be back live again at 6. And of course, we'll be here for any breaking news that happens. Y'all stay safe out there, Chicago. Bear down. One love.
Peace. Yay.
Oh, wrong button.
You always do that.
Use that bar.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie. The last time you used that was actually kind of epic.
It did hit hard. I ain't gonna lie.
We came back from the break.
I tried to tell them boys if they gonna throw me the ball, I'm gonna ride Dallas Bill.
Hey, did y'all hear DeAndre Swift's post-game press conference?
No.
He talked like a rapper.
Like a rapper?
Like I did. I did with the sideline reporter. Yeah.
Every line rhymes.
He was like, we really got to get the offense going. Like he just kept.
Yeah,
like rapid fire. I thought it was